Hey there, Richard. It's so nice to have you here with me for a personal reading, and thank you so much. And you seem like such a lovely person. So let's look into your first question. You're wondering what kind of relationship is it between you and Darina? So I already blessed and shuffled and drew the cards. I don't do it on camera because it takes a long time and it cuts out of your reading time. So what I do is just go through the deck like this until something pops out or until my hands stop um, getting to know each other. And so let's look at the cards. What kind of relationship is this? So we have the World. That's a pretty powerful card. The Seven of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles, and Judgment both came out together. So, okay, to me, this relationship is one that was intended to make a big impact in your life. Out of all the cards that came out, I'm not getting any like twin flame cards or vibes from this. It doesn't mean that it can't be. I'm just not getting that in this set of cards. But I feel like from what has come up, this is like a past life connection. You know, possibly one where you two were married or definitely lovers in a past life. And so let's see here. And I'm getting the past life stuff from this Judgment card. This is a card of, waking up to your past and, karma. And with the Ten of Pentacles here, I feel like this was, a stable foundation that you two used to have together, like a committed family life. Okay, so right now I'm seeing like not a lot of potential for commitment at this current time, just because the Knight of Wands is, kind of someone who's just out for having fun and kind of, traveling around the world. But there is definitely potential in this relationship with the Seven of Pentacles here, but I feel like it will require a lot of waiting and hard work to get it to develop in anything and to have, this success. But I feel like this is a really powerful connection, and there's a lot of potential for like worldly success if you two come together. So what else came up was the Hermit, the Four of Swords, and the Lovers. So this to me, this Lovers card being here is, confirming the idea that you two were either married or lovers in a past life. And I feel like there was some kind of pain that, is carrying over from that life into this life. And that might be, causing one of you or both of you to kind of withdraw and be cautious in this relationship. There's still like some, unhealed karma, I feel, between you two. And we also have the Eight of Cups. So this can be a card of like emotional regeneration. So I feel like this connection is here to like help you heal something within yourself. And the Tower card is here. So this connection was meant to have like a huge impact in both of your lives. And so no matter what, whether this lasts or not, I feel it was there to like awaken something within you and, kind of get you on the correct path for your life. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and the Four of Pentacles, clarifying the Nine of Pentacles. So let's see here. I feel like if this connection is going to develop, it's going to take a lot of time, like I was saying with the Seven of Pentacles, same with the Knight of Pentacles. This is a very slow moving energy, slow but sure and steady. But it's going to require, if this is going to work, it's going to require like a lot of time and patience because there is, heartbreak to get over, either past pain on her end from this life or from just previous lifetimes, because what can happen if you're with someone in a previous lifetime, any like unresolved pain from that lifetime can carry over into this lifetime subconsciously and you don't even know what it is. And so when you meet that person, all the pain can just get triggered like out of nowhere, and it can kind of like cause you guys to kind of like run from each other a bit. And let's see here. with the Nine of Pentacles, I feel like she is kind of like content and stable in herself, with the Queen of Wands here too. So she's someone who seems to be like pretty independent and self-sufficient, and maybe not quite ready for a relationship, with this Four of Pentacles like holding back. And then we have the Knight of Wands again, the King of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles again. So again, this connection is going to require, if it's going to work, it will require a lot of work and patience, diligence, just slow and steady progress, just one step at a time, even though, I feel like there is the potential for so much passion here. Like, look at all this fiery energy right here. So let's see. I feel like she is someone who's would be very focused on her own goals in the world, and might not be so ready for a stable commitment. That's why like the Knight of Wands is in here twice. So I feel like as far as the type of relationship this is right now, it doesn't feel like one that's like this stable, committed relationship. But I feel like there is a lot of potential in it, but it would take time, just a lot of like patience and like understanding, and just one step at a time. But yeah, there's a lot of potential here with this World card. So yeah, you guys are definitely, some kind of soulmates, where, you were destined, I feel like you were at least destined to meet in this life, either for a short term or, if you choose to make it a longer term. Like, not much is fated in this life. You have free will and you have a lot of choice. But I feel like it was fated that you were to be in each other's life with this Tower card, and the Judgment card and the World card here. Let's see what oracle cards we have. So from the Romance Angels deck, we got pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you, clarified by the Star. And we have unrequited love, with clarified by the Ace of Swords and the Six of Wands. And then we have attraction, finances and career, and chemistry. Okay, so obviously there's a lot of attraction and chemistry and passion in this relationship, are building between you two. So that doesn't seem to be a problem at all. So, that's just speaking more to like the potential in this connection. But I feel like it still would take a really long time to grow, because, I feel like she might be a little too focused on like herself, or, her worldly success, than she is at like building a relationship right now, especially with this unrequited love card here. I feel like doesn't necessarily mean this is always going to be this way. I just feel like this means like she wouldn't be able to like give you the same amount of love back, at least at this point in time. Like with the Ace of Swords here and the Six of Wands, I feel like she might have too much pride or ego to like communicate feelings or communicate clearly to you about like what she wants, and she might not even have clear thinking on what she wants in a relationship. And then with this pay attention to the red flags card here, I feel like this is just saying, it's not necessarily like a really negative card. It's just like if you're feeling anything within yourself that makes you stop in this relationship, definitely pay attention to that, because usually those kinds of things within yourself, they only get worse as time goes on in a relationship. So if there's anything like that, just pay attention. And with the Star here, I feel like this is just like there's not enough focus on, she's not focusing enough on the beauty and the potential and the inspiration in this connection, because I do feel like there is potential here, but would be a long road to fulfill that potential, it feels like. Oh yeah, speaking of fulfilling, that's kind of strange, like the fulfillment card's out right here. So again, potential for fulfillment, but not immediate potential. And then because everything is so complicated about this relationship, and the Page of Wands came out to clarify the complicated card. So this could be issues around children, like if one or both of you has children, or one or both of you do or don't want children, like, or it could also mean there's just still some immaturity, like, maybe on her end, and that is kind of complicating things. Like, this is still too much of an immature relationship to, kind of have a solid future path right now. And we do have this lovely card, Beauty. Actually, these are like my two favorite cards in this deck. So I feel like this is saying, like, if you're willing to put in the work and the time and the effort, then, there is this potential for beauty here, because there is like a beautiful soul connection between you two. If you found each other again in this lifetime. And then, yeah, here's another card of positivity for this relationship, this victory card. So there's a lot of obstacles here, but there is possible victory in this connection. We have the thinking woman. So I feel like she just might be a little too much in her head and not so much in her feelings about this relationship or just in general. And so I feel like this connection's on her mind, but she's very undecided about it, and that's just not helping you out at all, because then the adjacent possibilities card came up. So I actually asked to clarify this with this, and it's just like it's like the same card almost. So this is like her mind, where she's just thinking of all the other options, and it might not necessarily be other men. It might just be like all her worldly career options and just different paths in life, and she's like not ready to like choose one road. And this is also you as well. I feel like both of you are kind of undecided here, and I think it's really smart. You're kind of like trying to figure this out, if it's worth investing in or not. And then this community card came up as well, so I feel like, yeah, this is just another card of just so many just other factors kind of interfering, like where you guys are having a hard time just like focusing on each other. Let's see here. Yeah, this clouds card came up. So just still a lot of confusion and uncertainty in this relationship. But this does have like the sun coming out. So I feel like, if you can get through all the confusion and stick it out, that, there would be a promising future ahead with it. And this is a card of like being in public. This is the park. So I feel like, if you did stick it out and get through the darkness and the confusion, that eventually this would be like a more public relationship. But that would kind of be like in the distant future. This is like the distant horizons card. And let's see what else is going on. It feels like there's just a lot of like technical issues, or just like the technicalities of life getting between you two, because this courthouse card came up. And then coffin, great fortune, and judication. So let's see here. This is like the ending to something. So I don't know if like there's some kind of situation that she's stuck in right now, where she might be worried about losing something. And it's very interesting that courthouse and judication came up. So I don't know if she's like focused on like a past relationship or a past marriage, and that could be kind of getting in the way here. And with this card here, I feel like she's very, just focused on material world success, and isn't as good at focusing on a relationship. Okay, let's look at your next question. But again, all of this is just the current energy right now. It doesn't mean that things can't shift, because very little about the future is set in stone. And so just to summarize the answer to your question, definitely I feel like you were past life lovers or spouses, and you were here to kind of wake each other up a bit, maybe heal some of the unresolved karma from the past. And it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to be together to do that, because you can like forgive and release karma. If you decide not to be together, you can still like forgive the person. When I say forgive, I just mean like just decide to let go of any like baggage with that person, or any kind of like old wounds or pain that are getting brought up. Okay, so your next question is, should you invest energy into building this relationship with Dorina? So I got the deck with some yes/no cards in it out, and I asked, like, is it part of your happiest and most fulfilling life path to, build this relationship with Dorina. So let's see what came out. We didn't get any actual yes or no cards here. We got look for a sign, listen to your intuition within the next few months. It's up to you. And abundance. So this is funny because I know this is not very helpful because I know as a Libra, you're like, oh God, like it's up to you. I know, Libras don't like to make decisions but this decision is definitely like, I just feel like you really need to like weigh your options in your mind. Like, imagine what you would feel like if you did, like, try to imagine in vivid detail what would it feel like to have Dorina in your life, like on a regular basis, like maybe living with her and being part of each other's daily lives, and feel how that feels. And if that feels really good to you, then go for it. And now imagine yourself like single and without her. How does that feel? Or imagine it with another person, like someone you consider to be the ideal partner. And how does that feel compared to how it feels in your imagination with Dorina? So I would go for whichever option feels the absolute best to you. You can even ask for, divine help to, give you a sign if, this will truly like bring happiness to both you and Dorina to be together. And so with this card here, within the next few months, I feel like that's saying there might be a shift in the connection. Maybe give it just a few more months. Maybe in a few more months, that's when you'll be able to really decide whether this is worth pursuing. Because I feel like by that time, it will like all come out and be very obvious whether she's someone worth being with or not. We do have this abundance card here though, so I feel like this is a positive outcome. So if we had to say yes or no, I feel like it's more of a yes just because of this card being here. But it's not a really strong yes either. So much of the future is not set in stone, and we like create it as we go. We're here to create our lives. So I have two piles here. One is like, what is the long-term potential for you in this connection with Dorina? And what if you just go off and kind of like look for someone else? What's the outcome long-term there? So we have the Hierophant, the King of Pentacles, the Magician. These are all pretty powerful cards. This is a card of like, can be a card of like commitment and tradition. And with the King of Pentacles here, this is someone who's very sturdy and is a provider, and someone who's everlasting, like long lasting. So this is like Virgo and Taurus. Those are super steadfast energies, and so I feel like there is a potential for a very stable and committed relationship here eventually, especially with the Magician. This is a card of, power. I feel like you guys could be a very, very powerful couple and make a lot happen in this world. So, as far as like materially, it makes sense to kind of be together. There were not a lot of cards of like emotional fulfillment coming up in here. So it's really just this up to you card. It's like, what do you desire the most in life? Do you desire, like more like material success and abundance, or do you desire like more like emotional, abundance? And so this connection so far is offering, it seems like more material abundance. We have, but it's not going to be without love, because we have the Queen of Cups here. So this is someone who is very loving and caring. So I feel like, the potential here is that there will be love offered between you two. And then we have another Pentacles card, Knight of Pentacles, and then we have the Six of Cups. So this is another past life card. So there is a love shared between you two from a past life. And so this is also a card of like sweetness and nostalgia. So I feel like you will have this like feeling of family with each other. So that will help like glue you together. And again, this is a card of just making slow and steady progress. So I feel like this is just another reminder that this will have to be built slowly, but it could turn into something very, long-term and steady and stable. Let's see what else. We have Page of Wands coming up again, and then the Five of Cups, and Temperance. So most of these are pretty positive cards so far. I think the most negative card so far has been the Five of Cups. So there is going to be some, sort of disappointment in this relationship, but a lot of relationships have disappointments in them. But yeah, just a little bit of not quite as much emotional fulfillment as you're looking for, I feel like, but there still will be, some passion in here. I feel like there will always be some kind of spark of passion. And then there will be, this is a absolutely beautiful card to have in a relationship reading. So, I feel like this is, steady, mature love between people, committed and stable, healing. So this is positive to me. Just this card being here, helps make it a yes. It's worth investing in. Then we have the Nine of Wands. So this is a card of, kind of sticking it out for the long term. So I feel like this is saying this could be a long-lasting connection, especially with this Justice card here. So with Justice and the Hierophant, that could definitely mean marriage, marriage material, especially with the King of Pentacles as well. And then the King of Wands is here, so as well as the King of Swords. So to me, this means like this connection will bring you a lot of power. It will really, I feel like, bring out your creative side and your entrepreneur side. Just being able to have success in the world. Yeah, I feel like there's 3 kings here, so that's almost the Emperor. We're just missing the King of Cups, and we do have the Queen of Cups. So all the elements are represented here, and the Magician is here. So I do feel like this connection will bring you a lot of worldly power. And then this is a very nice card. We have Blossoming Abundance here. So this to me is like an Empress card. So this is confirming what I was saying about, like, I feel like there's a lot of potential for wealth and material success in this connection. So overall, this is a very beautiful card. And then we have this Fragment card and then this Trapped card. So I feel like there will be a bit of, something missing in this relationship. And like I was saying, I think that something missing is like a little bit of the emotions, especially with the King of Cups not being here. That's the one missing ingredient in this relationship. But I feel like everything else is there, like passion and mental stimulation and let's see, and the material world as well. So yeah, you might feel a little bit trapped, but I feel like you might feel a little trapped by any commitment. So I don't feel like that's like necessarily bad for just this connection right here. Then we have this Oath card here, so another card of commitment, potential for commitment here. Then we have Free Yourself, so it's time to take back control of your life. So with this card, I feel like this is saying, we have Trapped, and then we have Free Yourself. So let's see. Yeah, there's something about this connection where you might always feel a little bit trapped. But you have to ask yourself, ask your intuition, is that feeling of entrapment like worth being in this connection? Like how much happiness does she bring you? And, maybe it's worth it because there's only so many people you can find where there's not going to be like some issue with them that you have to work out. And then we have the Children card here, so this could be, potential for having children together. And past life relationship came up, so I feel like this is confirming that for what we said for your first question, that this is something that's kind of repeating from the past. You've known each other before. And then we have this Message card and the House. So again, like I feel like this is, kind of making a home and a family together. Someone who's going to be able to intellectually stimulate you too, someone who you want to be communicating with often. Okay, so let's look at what's the long-term outcome, if you choose to go on another path, that doesn't include Darina. Okay, so we have the Two of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles again, and then the Eight of Swords. So this is interesting because it seems like you're going to be kind of like in a similar situation if you give up on her. We have the Devil and the Ace of Swords and Temperance again. So I just feel like you're going to be in somewhat of a similar situation. if you choose to go somewhere else. So it might be that you have some patterns in yourself that you need to heal, that you would be carrying over to other relationships. So any issues you might be finding in this relationship, you might carry with you and find in other relationships too. So that's why I thought your next question was like so wise and amazing that you asked like what kind of self-improvements can you do to help the relationship. Like not many people ask that, and so I think that's incredible that you asked that. So yeah, because you're gonna get a similar type of thing going on, but there's less stability. Like there's not like a lot of commitment cards coming through. This is someone who's just kind of like just kind of venturing out and just starting something. So feeling like kind of a little bit unstable. Wanting to find someone to offer something to, but having a hard time really finding someone, just kind of being stuck in like indecision and worry and like worrying if you're ever going to meet anyone. But yeah, there's still be able to find passion with others. And with the Ace of Swords here, I feel like this is like mental stimulation, and the Temperance here, I feel you will be able to find, the same kind of like more mature love, kind of like a beautiful flow with another person. And this is crazy. The Page of Wands is here too. That's surprising how many of the same cards came up. So yeah, another card of like you will find like sparks with other women. And let's see, then we have the Four of Swords. So I feel like this is a card of withdrawal and like healing. So I feel like you'll need some time alone rather than being able to just find someone right away that you want to jump into any kind of commitment with. But then we do have the Six of Wands. So I feel like eventually you would find success and victory in another relationship somewhere. And then the Seven of Cups is here. So I feel like you would just be kind of like overwhelmed at your options. Then we have the Hanged Man. So another card of just like feeling like you don't know what to do, like you don't know who to take action toward. And then we have the Sun and the Seven of Wands. So I feel like it's almost like, you're just like indecisive and kind of like blocking your own happiness in a way because of like the indecision and just the unwillingness to make a decision, and so that kind of like blocks your happiness. So right now it's like just the feelings from both of these piles. I feel like the Dorina option is a little bit happier and a little more fulfilling. Okay, and then we have Man Holding a Coin and Angel of Balance. So I feel like this could be you as a Libra. And so to me, this is saying like you're someone who has a lot to offer. You're a really wonderful man, and so much to give in a relationship. Like you're so good in a relationship. And so I just feel like that just makes it that much harder to find someone. So I feel like you could be happy with just about anyone. Because you're just good at relationships. You're gonna be happy with anyone, as long as they're treating you right and not taking advantage of you. So that's what you need to look out for with Dorina. Does she respect you? Does she value what you're giving? Does she appreciate you? If those are yeses, then you could probably be pretty happy with her. Okay, and then we have the Message card again, like another mirror. What the heck? And then the High Priestess of Fire. So I feel like this is saying like you might start communicating with like a fiery woman. You definitely will be in communication. You're finding many people to socialize with, especially with this community card here. I feel like you will not be lacking options if you don't go with her. And, marriage might even be literally in the cards for you. You would eventually find someone. And then we have this Flirt card. So, yeah, it would be hard to find, someone too serious that you want to take really seriously right away. And then we have Calling in Your Soulmate. So you would still just be, kind of like endlessly searching for your soulmate. But I've heard like you find your soulmate when you let go of searching. And then we have finances and career. So let's see. This one is just saying that you might just not be finding enough time to find the exact, to be able to find your soulmate. So it might be kind of hard for you to find that person. Okay, so this is just the future as it's like projecting right now. So if you shift things within yourself, like tomorrow, these cards could, really change for both of these options. So let's go on to your next question. Okay, so your last question, what kind of self-improvements can you do to help the relationship work if you decide to invest energy into it? So like I said, this is an awesome question. So let's check it out. And, this would probably apply, even if you decided not to, this will be good for you either way. Okay, we have the Eight of Pentacles, we have the Eight of Wands, and then we have Strength. So we have 888 here. That's amazing. So that's a number of like finances and abundance. So let's see. The Eight of Pentacles is developing skills, working really hard on something in your life, and just being willing to kind of like stick with something and work on it, kind of being like really happy and content in working on this skill. So just whatever skills you have, make sure you're developing them, because that's something that's really attractive is when someone is has like some kind of talent and they are really interested in it. And so when you are like interested in something, you become like an interesting person, if that makes sense. And with this card, this is a card of like passion and communication. So just make sure you're working on your communication skills as much as possible. Make sure you're communicating to Dorina, like kind of like your intentions and what you desire, and just be like really clear and straightforward and honest with her as much as possible, and get honest with yourself. And with the Strength card here, I feel like this is saying just build up your inner strength as much as possible. That's very attractive to a woman when they feel like a man is just very like internally strong and can just like withstand any storm or any battle. And so yeah, continuing with that message, we also have the Nine of Wands coming up here too, and Nine of Wands actually came up twice, so that's a pretty strong message right here as well. So Strength, Nine of Wands, Nine of Wands. So perseverance. So this is a card of not giving up. So learn to make sure you're learning to persevere through any challenges in your life, to just see anything through to its completion. So like any projects you have, make sure you are actually completing them. That is probably something that's a little difficult for a Libra in general sometimes, is wanting to stick with one thing because lots of different things appeal to you, and you're kind of like indecisive and wanting to go different directions. So learn to be very focused in on one thing and targeted, and seeing things through to completion. And what else do we have? We have the Ace of Wands, so another card of passion and enthusiasm. And then we have Temperance. So let's see here. With the Ace of Wands, this is another card of, just making sure you have something that you're really passionate and fired up about in your life. Because again, that makes you like super attractive when, you're being like creative somehow in your life. So that can be, like in the arts, or it can be, in business, just, around the house, just whatever, everyone can be creative in something. So really foster that creative spirit within you. And, that's something that is very attractive and really draws someone to you. And make sure like the fire is really burning in you, because women want to be drawn to that really intense, warm, bright, shining masculine energy. They want to be able to feel warmed by their man. So make sure you're bringing like a lot of like warmth to Dorina's life. Bring warmth to your own life as well, because there's a lot of fire here. So fire yourself up, and more fire with the Nine of Wands twice. And with Temperance, this is just saying don't get way too much in your masculine energy. Make sure you're still balancing yourself out a bit with the feminine energy as well. So balance the masculine and feminine within you as much as possible. And then we have the Five of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. So I feel like this is saying, heal any feelings of like not being good enough, not being worthy, you know, start to really gain some confidence in yourself, like build yourself up inside. And also, you know, don't be afraid of making little gestures of love, and don't be afraid of like little surprises in your life as well, because maybe sometimes you might get like too stuck in a routine or something, and you know, it's like you might not allow you know, deviations from the path. So, you know, kind of allow like some newness to come in more often, you know, to get off the beaten path, because we do have the Fool here as well. So this is someone who, you know, is willing to take some risks. So, you know, become more, a little bit more of a risk taker as well. Like nothing crazy, but, you know, that's another thing that is a very masculine thing, a very attractive thing, is someone who's like willing to take risks to, you know, improve their life and, you know, get a lot of wins in their life. So become a little bit more of a risk taker. The Seven of Cups. So I feel like this means, you know, be able to decide a little bit more easily. Like don't be afraid of making decisions, because that's another very attractive thing, is when like a man just like knows what he wants and is very clear, mentally clear on something. So, you know, start learning how to, you know, just go ahead and make decisions. It's good. I've heard that it's just good to go ahead and make decisions quickly, and because you can always, you know, most decisions you can reverse later on if it turns out to be not good. It's good to just go ahead and take a risk, make a quick decision, and then if you need to, you know, deal with the consequences later. You know, of course, some things can't be decided super quickly, but a lot can. So become more of like a decisive person, and someone who like sticks to the path that they've committed themselves to. And then we have the High Priestess. So, you know, with all this masculine energy, it's also saying don't forget about your feminine side, you know, where you are going within and, you know, still listening to the inner voice within and being wise, you know, so, and then, you know, come into, you know, a masculine feminine union within yourself, and know how, when, to express both of those qualities in your life. What else do we have? So we have fruition. So I feel like this is saying, yeah, make sure you're bringing things to fruition in your life. Make sure you're sticking things out, not giving up. Don't give up. Don't give up. You know, staying strong. And then we have the unexpected coming in. So this is the Blue Moon card. So I feel like this goes with the Fool and the Page of Cups, where we were talking about, you know, don't be afraid to kind of do things a little bit out of routine. You know, shake things up a bit so you don't become like too much of a boring person. But I mean, don't go like overboard, you know, where you're going to like compromise something. And then we have the Letting Go card. So I feel like this is saying just, you know, ease up, lighten up a little bit in life, have a little more fun, you know, like this Page of Cups here. So let go of like, you know, really heavy expectations, because that's how you make a relationship succeed, is by not having too many expectations on the other person. Of course, you can have like agreements with each other, but it's really sets up a relationship for failure when there's like too many expectations. And then we have the Warrior card coming through, and then the Strength card again. So this is a huge message of just becoming, like, really developing your inner strength, and, you know, becoming this very strong masculine expression. You know, because to have a successful relationship, you really want to set up a like a polarity, like a masculine feminine polarity. So the more like divinely masculine you can become, you know, like all the divine and positive qualities of the masculine energy, not the dark side of masculine energy, the more you can express that, the more you guys will attract like magnets, as long as she's doing her part and, you know, being a little more in her feminine energy. And then we have this Storm card, Storm warning card. It's interesting because I think we said something about a storm earlier. I can't remember now. And then Broken Heart and Cornucopia. So it feels like this, there's still a little bit of like inner chaos within you. So make sure you're finding your peace, you know, maybe meditating more often to just calm yourself down. You know, I feel like your mind might be racing a lot. So make sure you're getting in some like deep breathing, maybe listening to music or something like calming music, to calm like the inner storms. Because when you have inner turmoil and chaos, it can start manifesting in your outer world too. So the more peaceful your mind is, the better your outer environment is. So Let's see here. The broken heart card, so you still might have some pain from the past or fear of broken heart. So make sure you are filling yourself in with love and healing that, so that way you can be fully emotionally available for Dorina. And then this cornucopia card here, I feel like is just saying make sure you're recognizing all the blessings in your life right now, and the more you feel gratitude, the more awesome stuff happens in your life. It truly works. And actually, that's advice I need to take, because I've seen it work magic, and I don't do it enough. When you live in a real state of gratitude, that's the ultimate receptive energy, and then that just like lets kind of like miracles and blessings just pour into your life, prosperity. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, we have another card of poverty, like the Five of Pentacles. So healing anywhere you don't feel good enough, not worthy enough, not worthy of like love or abundance. Then we have this Thief card here. So make sure you heal any feelings of like fear of betrayal, or like people taking advantage of you. You can just make sure you have good boundaries up, and that way you can trust yourself that you won't be taken advantage of again. And then we have this Thoughts card and this Magnifying Glass card. So I feel like this is saying, try to get out of your head a little bit and not overanalyze stuff too much. I feel like this is like being a little too detail oriented. So try to see the bigger picture a little bit more, and, relax, get out of your thoughts. And then that's when the magic can happen, when you're not like constantly running cycles in your mind. And then we have this Labyrinth card. So I feel like this is another card of, just having a hard time kind of like choosing a direction and making a choice. So again, like another message of make sure you're being direct and decisive as much as possible. Learn how to make decisions and, go with a path and stick with that path. And then we have this Ship and Distant Horizons card coming up again. So let me see if we have a message in the book for this one, just in case. Okay, it says, I take you on a vacation or a business trip. Distance. Okay, so I feel like this could just be meaning like exploring like new horizons, like in your mind or physically, like that can really do a lot for your mind, is to go to another location. So maybe doing a little bit more traveling, doesn't necessarily have to be like super long distance, but I feel like travel might really help you and might help shake things up, to kind of get you out of like some mental ruts. Okay, so I pulled like a few more cards from this past life deck, since it's been a focus that this is like a past life connection, which those are not rare at all, just so you know. But they are, intense and, meaningful. So I was like, okay, what did the past life between you two look like? We have the arts, so you guys might have been like some kind of musicians or, writers together, some kind of like art together. And we have forgiveness, so there's like something that there might still be some kind of like unresolved issue between you two right now from that life. And then we have the Greco-Roman card coming up, so it might have been around like ancient Greek or ancient Roman times. And then very interestingly, I was not going to pull any more cards, and then this one popped out, imprisonment or slavery. So this might have meant like literal imprisonment, like one of you might have, been literally imprisoned, or it could have meant, another card of like you just felt like trapped in the relationship. So that's so crazy that trapped and free yourself card came up. So that's why I was kind of surprised when this one came up too. So that trapped card is a past life pattern that you're still carrying. So the free yourself card, I think, means you free yourself of that karma of where you still feel like you're imprisoned. So something about her is going to make you feel like imprisoned, or so just make sure you break that pattern in yourself. Forgive it, let it go, and that will help this relationship, that will resolve that karma, and you can go forward and build something new. You don't have to keep creating from the past. You can clear the past, be done with it, and then go start creating from the now and project something beautiful into the future instead of continually projecting the past into the future. Okay, Richard, I think that's it. So I really hope this helped you, and it was a pleasure reading for you. Thank you so much again, and I'm here for you if you ever would like, or if you would ever like another reading. And I just wish you every blessing in the world and so much luck and love and joy with either Dorina or if you decide to, try to go with someone else. Okay, talk to you later, Richard. Take care. Bye-bye.